This news update is brought to you by...
They ask us how we do it, how we outrun the world. They ask us, how does it feel to fly? How do we dive headfirst into the deep? And emerge victorious. They ask us if we're afraid, if we're nervous, or if we ever feel lonely, so far away from home. But the truth is, home is always right here with us. Get ready to witness the magic of the Olympic Games like never before.
This is the Barbados Today evening news update for Wednesday, August 17. Thank you for joining us. I am Mary-Claire Williams. Opposition leader Mia Mottley today branded this year's budgetary proposals as a piecemeal set of initiatives presented by Finance Minister Chris Sinclair yesterday. Sinclair announced a number of cost-cutting and revenue-generating measures, including a 2% national social responsibility levy to fund healthcare services. But in her response today, Mottley indicated to the lower house that she was not impressed.
How do you come with a mid-year review in October, but seek to prescribe medicine today in August? Bajans understand that. You don't prescribe medicine without going to the doctor and having the doctor examine you. And when you go to the doctor, you don't expect the doctor to take general off-the-shelf medication and give you, because they know that every drug is not capable of curing every ailment. What you need is detailed analysis, and whether that analysis requires further action. When you go to the doctor, sometimes he gives you a physical examination, sometimes he gives you an MRI. But he's able to treat to your condition as a result of the detailed analysis that he does. And what do we have here instead? And I'll tell you why we have it. I'll tell you why we're here in 2 minutes. But what we have instead is a rush to judgment, a piecemeal patchwork, join up set of initiatives to meet the condition of the Democratic Labour Party's survival rather than the country of Barbados' survival and stability.
The local private sector is not entirely sold on yesterday's financial statement and budgetary proposals. Representatives say while they generally welcome most of the measures outlined to raise revenue for government and lower the fiscal deficit, they are concerned that those measures are lacking details. The concerns were raised this morning at the Hilton Resort during a Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry and PricewaterhouseCoopers post-budget breakfast discussion. Advisory partner at PwC, Oliver Jordan, said there is a need for a clear message in terms of the foreign exchange reserves. He's also questioning why Finance Minister Chris Sinclair did not address the issue of structural reform of state agencies.
State-owned agencies continue to represent a fairly significant drain on government's resources. And while there was some brief mention of it, the reality is there's really no concerted effort to deal with the structural issues facing the state-owned agencies. The other issue as well is really that there's no real meaningful cut in expenditures. As was mentioned, there's this across-the-board cut. But I think realistically we do need to get into a deeper debate in terms of what we can cut. Obviously, if it shows that the Minister of Finance have to manage the political side of things as well, so I do recognize that. But I think the reality is, as a country, we're not going to be able to continue on the same path of continued taxation. We do at some point have to have a discussion in terms of what we can realistically expect the government to provide. Right now, historically, the government has provided a lot of things, but the reality is 5, 10, 15 years from now, the government cannot continue or can't afford to continue to provide the same level of services.
In other news this evening, a St. Lucie man who is said to be mentally ill was fatally shot by police this morning. He has been identified as Dwayne Husbands of Trents. Acting police spokesman Stephen Griffith said officers were called to the area to respond to an incident shortly after 10 o'clock. Griffith said husbands confronted the officers and he was subsequently shot. He later died. Police are investigating the matter. The spotlight is once again on gynecological cancers with the launch of this year's Globathon. The event aims to raise awareness of those types of illnesses affecting women's reproductive health and will be held on September 11. President of the Barbados Cancer Society, Dr. Dorothy Cook Johnson, says the funds raised in previous Globathons contributed to the new Gynae Oncology Diagnostic and Treatment Center, which was opened last December.
It houses the latest equipment for diagnosis and treatment, and we want you to go and see it for yourselves, as it's proof, absolute proof, that the funds collected have been spent on exactly what we planned. And the present expenditure on the unit is close to $100,000. Most of all, it's accessible publicly to all women who are recommended through their doctors, and I believe that there is no charge for that. So more state-of-the-art equipment is due to be purchased this time. The supplies which are needed to provide the best services and the latest diagnostics and surgical facilities will all be put in there. So this year's Sagicor Globathon funds will go to that, and will turn that new unit into a well-equipped facility dedicating to alleviating women's gynecological cancer, as I said, by diagnosis and by treatment.
Meanwhile, Globathon team leader Dr. Vikash Chatrani said more women are dying from gynecological cancers and there is a need to pay more attention to them.
These cancers, when added together, the number of deaths they cause per annum is of the same magnitude, if not more, that is attributed to the #1 cancer for women in Barbados. That means more women are dying because of these gynecological cancers. It causes the same grief, if not more, because these cancers, they all don't have good screening tests and the disease is not widely spoken about. Women have always been reluctant to discuss issues related to their private parts because, of course, those parts are private. But now the Globathon is here to change all of that. Our reproductive organs must be valued and honored and spoken of with pride and dignity. Every person who has existed on earth passed through the ovary, uterus, cervix, vagina, vulva route. So they must be kept healthy and strong.
In sports now, 3 Jamaican athletes competing in the women's 800 meters in the Rio Olympics are out of competition after failing to advance from the first round today. Natoya Gould, Simoya Campbell and Kenia Sinclair did not perform fast enough to gain automatic qualification. Gould finished third in the 8th and final heat in 2 minutes 0.49 seconds, while Campbell ran in 2 minutes 2.07 seconds. Sinclair finished her heat in 2 minutes and 3.76 seconds.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Get your paper, get your paper. Only $2.25, $2.20. Who? For what? That's Bear Stare News. I don't read about that on Barbados Today since last night. That can't only can't do. $2.20. Who?
Barbados Today. News you can trust.
We're back now with news from the region, and we go to Antigua, where 4 men, including a member of the island's Coast Guard, are due back in court in October in connection with last week's $1 million drug bust. The 4, including 2 brothers, appeared in court yesterday. 3 were offered bail in the sum of 1.7 million EC dollars, while the 4th, a national of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, was remanded into custody. They were detained last Friday after members of the Office of National Drug and Money Laundering Control Policy conducted a drug operation. Authorities seized 697 pounds of compressed cannabis at a street value of 1.3 million EC dollars. Further afield, the head of the Olympic Council of Ireland, Patrick Hickey, has temporarily stepped down from all his roles following his arrest over allegations of illegal ticket sales. 71-year-old Hickey was taken to hospital after requesting medical attention following his arrest at a Rio hotel. Police in Brazil accuse him of being involved in a scheme to resell Olympics tickets at higher than their face value. Police said the scheme could have had profits of $3.1 million US. Hickey will be replaced as president of the European Olympic Committee by his deputy. And a statement from the Olympic Council of Ireland said Hickey was stepping aside until the matter is fully resolved, and he will continue to cooperate and assist with all ongoing inquiries. That's the news this evening. Remember, you can get more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Or you could tune in to Channel 99 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM for more news and sports. I am Maricla Williams. Have a good evening.